You're on PokerSesh.
Yeah, Mark McGuire here.
What up, Mark McGuire?
Got a question. So basically what I'm hearing you say is that cheating in high-stakes poker is parallel to using steroids and performance-enhancing drugs at elite sports levels. Like, everyone does it, just accept it and move on.
I don't accept it. I don't accept it at all. I mean, that's why... Here's the thing. Let me tell you something. When I used to play at party poker, I knew that there was a ton of cheating going on. I even knew some of the people that were involved in it because they had recruited me to do the same thing. They're like, and basically the feeling amongst most cheaters is, well, some of them really know that they're cheating. But a lot of them basically, even like really good poker players, basically have this entitled feeling that, well, Guy Laliberté is going to lose his money anyway. So why shouldn't we play differently against each other, you know? Why shouldn't we have side rules for each other? You know, these fish are going to lose their money anyway. Why do we have to slog through the variance when we know what the outcome will be? So they come up with ways to basically, you know, sort of fleece the guy. So back at Party Poker, the 30-60 limit game, when I first was playing there, was just like full of fucking cheaters. But the thing was, the game was still amazing.
So can it be called cheating if the edge isn't there? Like, that's an interesting question, isn't it? Like, you have people that their intent is to cheat, but
Right.
they still suck at it.
Right.
So they end up not cheating because they still suck at it. It's like a bank robber who goes in and a convenience store is the worst bank robber of all time.
Right.
And, you know, it's with the water gun.
Yeah, it's like the gang who can't shoot straight. Well, I have played in games where people are trying to sort of, you know, you play in games, live games sometimes, where it's obvious that two guys are friends and they've made a deal before they started playing that they're going to check it down when they're in pods together, and or they're just not going to bluff each other. They tell each other out in the parking lot, you know, we don't need to beat up on each other tonight, you know. It's not organized cheating. They're not marking cards. But you get in a few pots with them, and you sort of figure out what's going on, right? And you can use that against them, and I don't mind having them in the game at all, because when you're in a three-way pot and, you know, one of them raises, you know 100% that he has it because he's not trying to bluff his friend out of the pot. They're just sort of like doing the buddy-buddy soft play thing. And then there's obviously more organized cheating. But what you had at Party Poker back in the day was you had hardcore organized cheating. People were whipsawing, and whipsawing is basically when your compadre bets, and then the fish calls, and then the other compadre raises, and then the other compadre three bets, and they get you caught in a whipsaw. Okay, what happened at Party was after it got just too crazy, a lot of us complained, and Party actually cleaned out the cesspool very well of the whipsawers. They went back and they reviewed the player, what have you, and a lot of accounts got closed. I think it was written about at 2+2. There was like a purging at one point at Party before they raised the stakes of all the games. But what the cheating teams did then was they just started playing smart. And the smart way to cheat so that you never get caught is what's called best hand and advertise. So what the cheating teams would do after that was only the best hand would play if you were in with the fish. So if you got 3 team members in, and one has aces, one has kings, and one has queens, the kings and queens fold and the aces play. The kings and queens just open muck. And these guys are working out like boiler rooms. And so what happens is, because the fish always has to play against the best hand of the team, he's basically going to get destroyed. And then if the 2 team members are in a hand together with no fish, they play like maniacs. They're like ace high call down, 2-3-4 betting with deuce 3 pre-flop all in, blah blah blah. Because what they do then is they give off the illusion that they're action players, that there's all kinds of action in the game. But when you get in a pot with one of the teammates, it's always heads up against the best hand of the team. So once the party...
That makes a lot of sense.
Right. So once the Party Poker players switched to best hand and advertise, the party didn't either care about catching them or couldn't catch them. It's sort of hard to tell a guy, like, why'd you make that laydown? Are you a cheater? And he'd be like, no, I'm just really fucking good, you know? you know. And so they just sort of gave up on it. But here's the thing, though. This is the sort of like the long roundabout way of getting to what I was going to say. This only happened in the biggest games, period. Period, end of story. It never happened at the next level down. 100% of the cheating at party, the real organized cheating at party, and I'm guessing the organized cheating on the other sites, and we see it every now and then when it pops up, happens only in the biggest games. Because the cheaters, they don't have time to fucking 24 table 1-2 with this cheating play. This cheating play is a boiler room of 5 guys, who basically want to get in very big games and clean them out as fast as possible, cash out their accounts, and get the fuck out of Dodge before anyone figures it out. It doesn't do them any good to get caught cheating in a $5 game or a $10 game. They want to get, they're doing to do it in games that are thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So if you always just play in like the next biggest game, I think you're basically have eliminated 95% the chance you'll get cheated in any casino, live or online, because the cheaters just don't have time for that shit. So that was my message there. I don't know how it related to steroids. Well, I guess it relates to steroids in so much as,
No. So I mean that is not steroids, but what this guy who created another account that nobody knows he's that account, right? Like he's juicing his play, right? Like that's how I'm relating it to steroids. And it sounds like from what you were saying before I got on the call that all these other pros are coming forward saying, hey, yeah, like I do that too. I've done that before. I lost money from that guy. It didn't matter to me.
Yep.
That kind of is reminiscent to me of NFL players. No one gives a shit if someone gets caught using steroids or another performance-enhancing drug because, truth be known, they all fucking do it.
Right. The other players don't care. It's the fans that care. Yeah. I guess that analogy works. I can see that. I never thought of it that way, but that does sort of work. I mean, I guess it's the same in these poker games. It's not the other players that are getting too crazy angry about it. It's the recreational players and it's the aspirational players. The player who's right now playing 1,000 NL and someday does want to play 10,000 NL and is saying like, wait, this is what I have to look forward to, getting cheated in these games, and if I'm not in the in crowd, you guys just eat me up and spit me out. So
nothing more fun though than watching a recreational player get pissed off at a live player for getting cheated in a poker game in a live setting. Some of those clips on YouTube from the Commerce Casino, they have me in tears. I'm laughing so hard.
And half the time they're just dead wrong, but they're certain that something has happened. Because, recreational players think some weird-ass shit, like...
Oh, they do, for sure.
Especially because when you...
And I'm one of them, but I don't think weird-ass shit, but I am one of them. Anyway.
Well, when you play PLO, the cards get nicked up a lot, dented a lot, because people squeeze... And then like every single card will be dented, like every card in the entire deck. And yet some recreational player will be like, I want a new setup. They'll call for a new setup like 5 times. It's like, buddy, you don't fucking know what cards are coming out. They're all the same, But and it just slows the game down. And sometimes I'll like have like a little side bet. I'll be like, okay, if you can predict like I'll give you 3 cards that you can guess that card is, and if you get it right, we'll get a new deck. But if you don't get it right, we're gonna keep playing, all right? And they, of course, they have no
side bet right there.
Yeah, they have no fucking clue. No clue.
Then he shuts up.
Yeah, then they're like, I think it was the ace of spades. It's like 4 of clubs. It's like, do you really think somebody's sitting in this game marking the 4 of clubs? Nozzle, you fucking nozzle. All right.
All right, fun player out. Later.
Thanks for calling in. That was a good analogy. I like that. And Mike, you know who knew about the Brian Hastings thing that nobody's talking about? Poker stars knew about the Brian Hastings thing. They knew. They were 100% knew. That's what nobody's really talking about. Like, BRB Barker said, when's the last time you experienced someone cheating in a live game, Limon? Okay, let me tell you something. Real cheating, basically, never. Because I knew that real cheating happened in games because I knew who ran the cheating teams. That's the only way I knew. I knew that Russ Georgiev ran a cheating team. I knew that his Vietnamese compadre ran a cheating team. I'm not going to say his name. I don't want these guys. Some of these guys are still alive. I don't want to get stuck with a knife in the parking lot. But Russ is, everyone knew Russ. Russ, the SEAL Georgia. We knew that they ran cheating teams. So you could go and sit in one of their games, like when they were playing 1-2 Omaha or something, 75-150, and you could be cheated if you wanted to be. Over at the old Crystal Park game. Or you could go into the game that all of the guys with the hats of the guy who was the guy who ran the team. I'm not going to say his name. The guys who had the hats of the guy who ran the cheating team. You could go sit in that 40-80 limit game and get cheated if you wanted to get cheated. But you would never actually know you were cheated. These were real professionals. If you know you got cheated in a game, it's because you're dealing with amateurs, okay? Like, if you're in a game and the dudes have obviously decided they're not going to bluff each other before the fucking session in the parking lot, they decide they're not going to bluff each other, or if, they've made some decision on this or some decision on that, and you catch on to the fact that they have one playing style when they're playing with each other and they have another playing style when they're playing with other people. Well, these are just amateurs. And the truth is, most of these amateurs, they're so bad. They're, whatever you call it, soft playing or cheating or whatever, it's just so bad. I don't even care. I mean, it's just like, it's just more money. They're not actually winning. They're just losing maybe a little less. I don't know. I don't want to get into a big fight with somebody. It's like the husband and wife thing. If a husband and wife have decided they check it down when they're in a pot with each other, I'm not going to get in a big fight with them over it. Somebody might say it's collusion, but I don't even consider it collusion. It's like if two fucking friends want to check it down when they're in a pot with each other, husband and wife, whatever. It's just sort of, I'd rather have it just sort of out there than have it secret, you know. But yeah, like Damien says, if you get cheated by professionals, you have no freaking clue. You will never know it. That's why they're professionals. What else we got? I got more questions in the chat here. They're coming in fast and furious. Thanks.